Hey guys, what's up? This is Dan from whitepill.tv, and in today's episode 26 I'm going to talk about my experience with 55 hours of dry fasting. In January and February of this year I regularly dry fasted. I did so every few days till weeks, and it was an exceptional experience. First, I heard about dry fasting from a friend last year, and we had another call just before New Year, and he really urged me to do it and to try it. And so I got Dr. Sergey Filonov's book, 20 Questions and Answers about Dry Fasting, and read it and just checked what it is about, and it was very, very curious. So in the past I have already done water fasting up to 7 days, and I had a remarkable experience with water fasting. It was so good for my psyche, for my brain fog went away. The reason why I did the water fasting was because I had like a very strong acne here in the face, and also I couldn't work. I had very severe brain fog in the months before because I went through a surgery and had to take very strong antibiotics, and an acquaintance recommended me to go to fasting, which I did, and I'm going to talk about water fasting in another video. But if you're ever intending to do a dry fast, you should do the equivalent in hours that you're aiming to do in a dry fast first as a water fast. So for example, after having done 7 days of water fasting, and in the months and years after that, I regularly took water fasts of maybe a day, maybe 3 days, every few months and quarters. And that's why my body already knows about fasting. He is used to water fasting. And then I was very curious about dry fasting, because in Dr. Filonov's book he writes that 1 day of dry fasting is the equivalent of 3 days of water fasting, and it's possible to do up to 5 days of dry fasting alone and without medical supervision. And then I just wanted to try it out because it particularly helps with inflammation, and even more so than a water fast, because inflammation actually requires water in the body. And the other very big advantage of dry fasting is that the body releases toxins that are hidden in the deep tissue that cannot be reached otherwise. And one of the side effects of dry fasting is that after 24 to 36 hours the body smells really, really bad. Even the own breath smells bad, and one gets really, really hot at some point. The logic behind this is that actually Dr. Filonov writes that the body starts to burn the tissue in the fat depots in the body in order to produce water by itself. And this effect needs an increased body temperature, but it doesn't feel like you're feverish. It just feels like the body is turning into a powerhouse where you're getting actually more energy from it. And this was very, very interesting, because I was in Germany while I did the 55 hours of dry fast, and I had to open the window in the night, and that's in January, where it was quite cold. So I think the temperature must have been around 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. And I was so hot, I had to get rid of my pullover, of my sweatshirt, and open the window and stand and get like the cold breeze on my body. And it felt so good. Also, I needed to shower cold even in the days after the dry fast. And it was very curious. It felt a little bit like taking ayahuasca. Then, because when you're the dry fasting, it seems to have like also good influence on the mind, on the mental processes, where suddenly you're processing traumas and thinking about things and resolving them from a different perspective, just like when you're doing ayahuasca. And it's painful, of course. I had the first day was easy, but then when you're going into the second day, it's getting a little bit painful because you're getting very thirsty. Then I went on a walk outside, and the thirst goes away suddenly, and then a few hours later the thirst comes back and the hunger comes back, and then it disappears again, and you're doing this mental processing. It is harsh on the body, but the days after the dry fast, you're feeling so cleaned out. And I had this red acne, which didn't completely disappear, but went away very far, went away a lot during these days of dry fasting. And you're feeling energized, and the thinking seems to be reorganizing, because of course it kills inflammation everywhere in the body, even in the brain. So brain fog disappears, and at a faster rate than is possible with water fasting alone. What I didn't do was exercising. It was very, very difficult to even do anything. Even sitting in front of the computer was painful. And basically at the end of the day 2, when I was in 40 hours, I just wanted to sleep. I lay in bed, watched a few YouTube videos, and couldn't really sleep. Then I was doing some meditation, but not sitting. It was more like mental processing, like on psychedelics. And also very important is not to shower during the dry fast. Like it means because the body can absorb water through the skin, a real dry fast means that you do not drink, you do not eat, and you don't shower and don't brush your teeth, because just touching water absorbs water from the environment and reduces the effects, because the positive effects of a dry fast depend on generating water by burning the fat tissue from within. And the advantage of that is that you're burning fat tissue rapidly. Like nothing else can burn the fat tissue as rapidly as a dry fast. And I measured my weight in the days before and after, and I have to look up my journals because I don't know it by heart. But I lost a few kilos over the time where I did the dry fasting. For me personally, dry fast has been one of the most profound experiences in my life. And it's difficult. It is really, really difficult to dry fast, because you're not only leaving out the food, but also leaving out the water. So it's getting very difficult to work. But the healing effects are tremendous. And if you're fit and healthy, you can definitely look into further the dry fasting. But if you have any predisposed medical problems, consult your doctor before you're attempting it. If you like this video, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, ask by commenting below. And also, please subscribe to my newsletter. I'm going to let you know more about things that improve your mental health, your physical health, and about fasting, about psychedelics, about entheogens, and shamanism.